Hello everyone, so I'm back with my next lesson. So it's 8-1. So parabolas, few more examples on finding equation and graphing parabolas. So here comes the first example. So what if, let's say we know focus of this parabola, which is at 5, 6, and the directrix equation is x is equal to 1. That's what we know. And we are supposed to find the equation of this problem. Again, just like always I do, so I'm just going to graph these points, and actually basically I'm just going to plot this information first. So focus, it's at 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's here. That's where the focus is. And you know, focus is always inside the parabola. So let's plot the other information here. X is equal to 1, which is going to be a vertical line here exactly at 1. Okay, now based off these two things on the graph, I know parabola would open to the right side. Why? Because directrix is outside and focus needs to be inside. So it means the vertex would be somewhere in the middle here, and parabola would open this way. Okay, now let's just set up the equation. Since the parabola opens to the right, so it means this is going to be it's x is equal to y square equation for sure. Now, what else I can put it in is the a value. A, you know, since it opens to the right, so a needs to be positive. So I know a needs to be positive. Now we need to find h and k. So basically h and k is the vertex point. Vertex is not there, but you know vertex gonna be in between these two things, the line and the focus point. So think about this. You go from 1, which is the directrix, and the focus is at 5. So what do you think? What's exactly in the middle? You can literally count the boxes, or midpoint is just another way to find the center point. So I would just add these two and divide by 2. So this is going to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So the center point would be 3, and you know the y would stay the same because it's going along x-axis, so y would stay at 6. Now let's adjust these numbers in the equation. So h goes with x and k goes with y, so it would be x minus 3, y minus 6. Okay, now the last thing I need to do is I need to solve for a value, which is 1 over 4 times the distance. Okay, how far this vertex is from the focus point or the directrix line? How far? So both ways it's going 2 units, so it means the p value would be 2. Plug it in, and answer is 1/8, so I know it's going to be 1/8 here in the equation. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this part. So that's how we deal with these type of problems. Okay, next one. This is about writing standard form. So let's say if your equation doesn't look like actual equation, like this is how my equation looks like right now. This is what I have. Okay. First of all, how do we know this is parabola equation, not any other conic section? Now, here's the shortcut. Anytime just one of the variable has square on it, so it means it's parabola. If both square, it means it could be one of those, either circle, ellipses, or hyperbola. So I'll talk about that later, but right now, since one square, so it's going to be a parabola equation for sure. So now we need to make it into like normal looking equation or standard form of equation. So for that, remember square has to be a perfect square. This is where we complete the square. So first, since y has square, so it means I need to complete the square for y term. So I would just sort or group y terms on one side of the equation. So I would say y square. Then I have 2 y's. And then the rest of the stuff, I'm just going to move it to the other side. So I have 6x and minus 13. Now, for the y part, I need to complete the square. This is where we need to get the magical number. Magical number, how do we get the magical number? So it's b half and square. Oh, don't forget, if there's any a value other than 1, make sure you factor that out. Since there's no a value, just 1, it would not make any difference, so there's no need to factor it out. Okay, so I would say, let me just erase that, otherwise it looks like a negative in there. Anyways, magical number, what is that? So b, which is 2, half of that is 1 and square would be 1. Okay, now this is what we added to the other side. I just added a random number to one side of the equation. Don't forget to add it to the other side. Now complete the square. So this one, remember we get first one from the first term. We get second number from the last term and borrow the sign from the original one, the middle term, and just put a square. On the other side, combine, it's 6x minus 12. Now we're almost getting there. The left side is already a perfect square, but this one, isn't it? The x part or the other variable should have h and k in there, and x needs to be by itself. So this is where you need to factor out the coefficient of x term. So which is 6, I would factor that out. So this is x minus 2, almost there. Now lastly, remember this number has to be in front of the square term expression, so I would divide by 6 both sides. Finally, my equation is x minus 2, 1 over 6, y plus 1, and there's a square. And lastly, if I ask you for h and k, what is that? H that goes with x, which is this number, k that goes with y, which is this number, so h and k would be 2 and negative 1. Here you go. So that's pretty much all. And tomorrow going to be the last lesson from this chapter, and after that it's just going to be a project and a quick review assignment. And yeah, that's going to be all for this semester. So guys, thank you for watching, and if you have any question, comment, I'll answer that. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.